Valdosta State ties, which is the reason why we decided to give this podcast a try.
You're tuning into the Inferno Laser Sports Show.
It was a banger.
I just love their fight. I mean, they never give up.
If you know, you know.
This is Titletown. We win championships or you get out of town.
Yeah, that's right. RP to Jack. He's not dead, but
No place I'd rather be. Go Blazers.
Got a full house in here, man.
Let me work on my intros real quick.
This was a sweep. Let me see if this was a sweep real quick.
So much experience, so much potential.
And they show up, they show out.
You can't take the heat. What makes you think you can survive the Inferno?
All right, welcome everyone to the Inferno Valdosta State Sports Show. My name is Jaylan Scott. We also have Ansley, Dionte, Daniel. There's a reason why this intro is really short. You guys will find out why, because we have a lot to talk about. We have been off since March. I'm sorry for that. A lot's been going on. We had spring break. We're unfortunate without Austin because his workplace kind of sucks. So that's all that's going on today. We're going to talk some rapid fire. We got women's tennis burning up the ITA rankings. A rough season for the men's tennis team, but still quite a bit to look forward to. Blazer baseball and softball kind of holding steady right now, but teetering on the edge of playoff contention. We're going to talk all about that here on the Inferno, the first episode of March. That's technically going to be put out in April. We apologize for how long this has taken. Just school and life have been in the way. You all know what it is. So that being said, if you want more Valdosta State sports content like this, then be sure to follow for more. So the first thing we're going to go over here quickly is rapid fire. We got six major headlines here to talk about that we're going to go through in quick fashion. It's why we call it rapid fire. Forcefully insert a joke here. Yay. Okay. I hit my quota for the day. Let's go. All right. So the first, I'm a mess today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. It's just been a lot.
yeah, I know.
It's okay.
It's been a long day for you.
It's been a long day. It's probably been a long day for you guys as well. Ansley, you were just coming off a meeting.
Yeah.
You were just coming off a meeting. You walked in here with the meeting playing out loud. Dionte, you got stuff going on with Sports Workshop. So we've all been going through it. Okay. So now that I've had a moment to slow down, the first rapid fire headline we're going to talk about here, we're going to go over a quick thing with some new volleyball signees that over the offseason, VSU Volleyball signed up 4 new players at the time of this recording. Aubrey Arnold, a defensive specialist / libero, transferred from Presbyterian College out of Bristol, Presbyterian College is not out of Bristol, Florida, but Arnold is from Bristol, Florida. We also have Peyton Mickles from Oviedo, Florida, a true freshman setter, along with Maddie Goodwin, an outside header, transfer from Pensacola State, a Apex, North Carolina native, along with Nia Redmond, an outside hitter, true freshman coming from Noonan, Georgia. Noonan, isn't that your hometown?
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome to hear.
So Redmond, Goodwin, Arnold, and Mickles, welcome on to Blazer Nation. Can't wait to see what you guys do for next season. Dionte, you want to talk? What we got next?
So the Spring Hill College, they're joining the GSC for every sport. West Florida as well. They're leaving the GSC.
So we got the Spring Hill College Badgers, a team that's been a affiliate member in the GSC for nearly a decade, is actually a conference member in women's soccer specifically, and I think men's soccer as well. I think both their soccer programs are actual GSC members, but now Spring Hill will be a full-on GSC member in 2027, I believe, was plucking them from the SIAC. Ansley, what do we have here? Going back to volleyball here, we have a certain special player making some moves in the military.
Yeah, I actually saw this myself too. So Mia Verger, right? Mm-hmm. The libero. It's funny it's amazing that this is happening for her, but I know that those girls have supported her from day one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they knew that this was like what her ultimate end goal was. Right. So it's awesome to see her kind of excel, not only like playing volleyball, but to just, transfer those skills into something obviously very meaningful. Right. So excited for her. She will be attending a field training camp this coming summer in steps of becoming an Air Force officer, which is like nuts. That's
congratulations,
awesome.
man.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Mia.
It's bigger than sports, really.
It is. That applies so perfect here.
Mm-hmm. So currently Mia is had her enlistment ceremony to the Air Force Reserves, and as Ansley said, taking that field training camp to become eventually an Air Force officer. That's just some great things to hear. I'll go ahead and take this next one. Blazer Athletics partners with Dunkin' Donuts. This one rings true to my heart. I tell you, when I saw this, I got giddy.
Go ahead and high five me, because guess who helped that?
Let's go. It sucks that it's for the last month that I'm going to be here, but you know what? I'm going to take advantage of this.
You should.
I should. But so VSU Athletics have partnered with Dunkin' to provide Blazers with special perks at the 2 Valdosta area locations, including a 15% discount for students, faculty, and staff with a valid ID. And if the baseball, softball, or tennis teams win at home, still have plenty of home games left to go, you can save $1 on your purchase by showing your Blazer mobile app at checkout starting on April 1st. I know I'm going to be abusing that. I love me some Dunkin'.
Like, I also want to put emphasis on it's 15% every day. It's every day. So maybe I shouldn't have said that.
I'm gonna be a fiend. I'm about to be a fiend. That was probably not something you should have told me.
Yeah, you're right.
Dionte, what do we got next?
But up next, we got the VSU Inside the GSC. VSU head athletic trainer Jay Johnson was recently featured on an episode of the Go South Conference podcast Inside the GSC. He is the second Blazer to be featured on the show. Greg Hudgens was featured on episode 13. Check out that episode on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., and let them know the Inferno sent you.
Absolutely. That's my boy right there, Jay Johnson.
He's awesome.
My travel partner.
Yeah.
He's my travel partner for all the games we went to, going to the women's hotel, going to their shoot arounds. He and I were pretty much near inseparable when we were on those trips.
His interview also was really amazing. A lot of positive feedback in the comments too, if you want to take a look. He's a very educated man, someone that you can definitely learn a lot from.
Yeah. So again, if you go and check out that episode, let them know the Inferno sent you. Let them know you came from us. And Jay, you're my man. You're awesome. And so we have one more thing here, kind of referencing one of our previous hosts, Sawyer Baltimore. What happened to him this past Saturday?
Oh, I remember Sawyer. He's getting to referee the VSU football spring scrimmage this past Saturday.
Let's
go.
He
already did it. Did you hear from him at all?
Yeah, I did hear from him. He said it was a really good game.
Really?
He said it was a really good scrimmage. He liked what he saw. He liked what he saw from the teams. I mean, he was already reffing Georgia High School Association games. So he was already reffing GHSA games. I think it's like a field judge or a back judge for a while now. So he's really starting to move up the ranks into actually being an official. And especially at a time like this where people are like hounding officials or we're losing officials.
I also am an official for GHSA schools around here.
Really?
So I ref middle school and high school. And so like on that point, I definitely have to put in my 2 cents because I ref for some guys and it's funny. A lot of them are actually like police officers and they do it. I know it's kind of interesting, right?
Wait, you referee like a men's league?
No, like high schools.
You said GHSA. I'm stupid.
No. High schools all around the area, middle schools as well. Middle school's been done for about a month now, but it's pretty fun. This is a little side note, but as you know, Carly, she is coming here for next year for soccer and I get to like referee her games at Lowndes.
Oh, that's sweet.
So it's pretty fun. And we had a lot of the incoming freshmen here this last weekend. So they all got to see her play. And some of them that know me, they're like, Ansley, what are you doing out here? I'm like, I do it all.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You do it all. You're all over the place.
That's awesome for Sawyer.
That is. I absolutely love to hear that. And that also kind of reminds me as well, doing officiating as well. I officiated some men's flag football for a while. For a couple of years, I did with my dad back home, and that was really fun too. It's also
character building for sure.
It is. It is certainly character building. Dealing with grown men playing flag football. Some guys can get pretty rowdy.
Shout out Austin. Wish he could have been here today, but he was at the spring game as well this past Saturday. Him and Maurice was.
I'm good.
And actually, speaking of flag football, I remember I saw Austin out at the Shamrock tournament.
Yep.
I saw him out there in Shamrock tournament.
Was he like catching dimes or?
He caught a few. He got a first down here or there playing with Delta Chi. So shout out to Austin showing up that, hey, we all have forms of athleticism here. Every single one of us, every host here of this show has had some form of athletic experience. So nobody can say anything about the fact that we might not know what we're talking about. No, we know what we're talking about. We've all been there. We have all absolutely been there. So we're going to transition things on over to men's and women's tennis. For the men's tennis team, this has been a rough stretch for the defending national champions. 4-7 on the year, on their currently on a three match losing streak, 2-2 in the conference. I mean, definitely still plenty of time to definitely still a lot of time to pick themselves back up with about 5 matches left to go before the Gulf South Conference tournament. That's going to be held in Tuscaloosa, Alabama this year. I actually just now read that, just now figured that out. So 4 more conference games left to go for this men's tennis team. But looking over the last couple they played throughout March, and it's not a pretty sight if you're looking at the schedule page. Falling 4-0 against number 4 in the nation, St. Leo, losing 5-2 against number 29, Auburn Montgomery, 7-0 to number 1 in the nation, Barry, who I think, I don't know if this specifically related to tennis, but Sawyer texted me earlier today saying that Barry defeated Division I's Temple 7-0. I don't know if that's tennis. Now here's the thing. I don't know if that is for men's tennis, but if it is, and they swept Temple 7-0. I'm actually going to look it up. I'm going to look it up as I'm talking about it. I'm going to be legitimately surprised if that is the case. But as that loads, I'm going to go back to the VSU side. They picked up 2 wins against Georgia College State University, 6-1, and against Montevallo, 4-3. But prior to that, lost to number 42 in the nation, Columbus State, 0-4. So again, that's just kind of the state of VSU tennis right now. The reigning national champions certainly not in the spot that they would like to be right now. 4-7 overall, 2-2 in the conference. Dionte, you were at the Auburn Montgomery games where the men's team lost 2-5. You were covering that for the Spectator. What can you say about what you saw from that game? That match. Sawyer's going to give me flack. Sawyer's going to give me flack for calling it games instead of matches. I swear.
They showed a lot of heart. I was at the Columbus State games as well. Columbus State matches as well. It was hot. Gnats was all over the place.
I would imagine.
I talked to the coach a little bit. I know he had got on to us. Shout out Coach Hansen. Me and Maurice.
Oh, he's a real one.
Me and Maurice tried to interview him, and he asked us, do y'all usually interview people in the middle of a match? No, but
you do what you gotta do sometimes.
We have to do our job, but yeah.
Press gotta do their job. Also going back to what I saw here, apparently Barry defeated Temple 6-1.
Wow.
Barry defeated Temple 6-1 in Orlando. Barry is 16-0 on the year. God, men's tennis in the Southeast it's a beast.
Barry has just taken off too, like in all aspects, all their sports teams. I know their volleyball team's pretty decent too. So, I mean, they're killing it.
Yeah. So again, for this men's tennis team, definitely not the spot that they'd imagine themselves in. But again, they still have 5 more games to shore things up. And as far as I remember, there are only 9 teams in the GSC that play men's tennis. So we're pretty much a lock to make the GSC tournament anyway. It's just gonna be a matter of how far of a run can we go to turn things around here. So 4 of the last 5 matches for the men's side will be against Mississippi College, against West Florida, West Alabama, and Christian Brothers, all down in Pensacola, Florida, to wrap up conference play. Then they'll have one more non-conference game against the Lynn University Fighting Knights at the Valdosta State Tennis Courts on April 17th. Then it's tournament time. Then it's GSC tournament time. Can we potentially see a great comeback story to making it back to the NCAA South Regional? That is to be determined. We're going to turn things on over here to the women's tennis team, who have taken off in the best ways possible. 8-4 on the year, 4-0 in conference play, undefeated in conference play on a 2-game win streak, 4-2 at home, going over their matches since March. Defeated number 20 Lee University 6-1, Delta State 5-2, number 26 in the nation Columbus State 4-3, Georgia College 7-0 sweep, Montevallo 6-1. Dropped the match against number 1 Barry. I mean, okay,
that's fine though.
That's fine, whatever. Because then followed up with 2 more wins, 5-2 over Auburn Montgomery, and then against number 47 in the nation St. Leo 4-2. This is also where I learned that ITA rankings go all the way to 50. I had no idea that the rankings go all the way from 1 to 50, and you can label a team as like number 47. I mean, the men's tennis team was ranked number 50 when they lost to St. Leo. But now finding out that you can have like number 47 in the nation, St. Leo. It's kind of crazy how much of the rankings are dominated by Southeast teams. Dionte, I'm going to go back to you for this one, man. The women's tennis team, they have, all pun intended, been on fire. Only one loss in the month of March and no conference losses yet.
And I was going to say that too. This Valdosta women's team for tennis, fire. When I went to go see them for the Columbus State and the Auburn Montgomery team, I'm like, watching them, they made me want to start playing tennis. And when I didn't watch tennis, I'm a big tennis fan growing up. I didn't watch, high school tennis, watching my high school, shout out Gainesville High School. I didn't really watch them. But once I got here to Valdosta, that's when I really got back into tennis. Right. And seeing them this year, I'm like, yeah.
They're a nice team to watch.
Absolutely,
they are.
They absolutely are. Just looking at the results page. For one thing, I also want to note as well, number 17 in the nation, by the way, for this women's tennis team. So getting up there in the ITA rankings, they're going to keep climbing. They're going to keep climbing. It seems like other than that, I can't even call it an aberration against Barry because it's number one Barry. I can't really even call it that. But to see how well this team has progressed. Looking at the doubles, 6-1 in the number 2 doubles, Charlie Faye, Ivana Castillo Hurtado, 6-1 in that. And then the number 3 double, 6-0 in the doubles, Carmel Vile and Kitty Nemeth. Just saying you get one game off of us. You get one. Or you get one in the number 2 doubles, you get nothing in the number 3 doubles. And then look at the singles matches. Lena Bex unfortunately didn't win her match. Malika Prokic got pushed to 3 sets, but ultimately dropped the 3rd set 7-5. And then going on to the rest of the singles. Castillo Hurtado 6-0, 6-2. Charlie Faye 7-5, 6-3. Then we go to Carmel Vile 6-4, 4-2. And then they played a 3rd set, went unfinished. And then Kitty Nemeth 6-2, 6-1. Just
straight belt.
Just straight, literally straight belt. 4-2. 4-2 was the final there. So again, going over the last couple games for this women's tennis team, they have the same 4 remaining GSC conference games remaining. That being Mississippi College, West Florida, West Alabama, Christian Brothers, all at Pensacola, Florida. Then they have the game against Lynn. Then they have the game against Lynn on April 17th. The match against Lynn. Lord, Sawyer's going to roast me for this. I swear. If you are, go ahead and count how many times I said game instead of match. Look, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. I dare you. You know what? No, I dare you. And then they have one more match to end their regular season against the University of Tampa. Or are they Tampa Universities or University? I can't remember. The Tampa Spartans.
It's University of Tampa.
University of Tampa. Okay. University of Tampa Spartans on April 18th at the Valdosta State Tennis Courts before their GSC tournament appearance in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We could potentially see VSU, the women's tennis team, be the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
I think so.
It would have been a long while since we've seen the women's tennis team become the number 1 seed. And we have to remember the last time they've won an NCAA tournament game was 2017. Wow. So we could very well be looking at a team who could win their first NCAA tournament game in nearly a decade. And that's going to be super, super special to watch. It'd be even better if it was here. They get that first win of the tournament as a host in the South region. But that's looking a little far ahead. We'd have to get to the end of April to then make better predictions, make better predictions about that. So now we're going to turn things on over from the tennis courts to the baseball diamond to talk over some Blazer baseball. And for the boys out there on the diamond, things have not been smooth. Things have not been smooth sailing. It's been some pretty rocky seas for this baseball team through March. And I wrote it like this. The baseball gods have not been kind. The baseball gods have not been kind to this Blazer baseball team. This same Blazer baseball team, number 2 seed in the GSC last year, currently sitting in the number 9 spot. So at the time of this recording, VSU is on a 7-game losing streak, have been swept in back-to-back series against Montevallo and Mississippi College. Through March, VSU is 6-11 with a single series win over Delta State. I'll talk about that here in a minute. But they started March on a good note with a 2-1 series win over Alabama.
And when they went on the road, it just went downhill after that.
That's really been the biggest Achilles heel. We've been talking about this year between last semester and this semester. No one can seem to play on the road.
Nope.
And Blazer baseball is unfortunately another example. is unfortunately another example of this.
We did talk about this last time, and I don't know what's in the air.
I don't know.
But it's still in the air. Whatever it was earlier on, it's still here.
Well, apparently there's also the pollen. Oh my! Don't get me started on the pollen. It started coming out in February. I nearly crashed out.
I know. I was like, what is going on with my throat? And then, but no one had even like talked about like, oh my gosh, I have a little cold. Like, I remember I was at the first baseball doubleheader we had,
right?
And I was like, why do I feel this way? And then the next day, my car covered with it.
Just covered with that. Yeah. I was at a Walmart parking lot when I went into Walmart. I came back out. My car's covered in yellow. I nearly crashed out on the spot. Yeah. I said,
already?
It is February.
It's crazy.
But I don't think pollen is exactly the answer for Blazer baseball being 3-14 on the road this year. But going over just very quickly, most recent matches. Wow, I'm getting my terms mixed up today. It's one of those. You shut up.
Oh man.
Shush. You shush. So the series against West Alabama on March 6th and March 7th, the Blazers lost that one 1-2, 0-4, losing 0-4, 4-6, and 3-2. Blazers got shut out in game one via a complete game from West Alabama's pitcher, Baker Green, who allowed 6 hits, still allowed 6 base hits and only threw 2 strikeouts. 2 strikeouts, but got 13 groundouts and 10 flyouts in 102 pitches. So that's just one of those games we just got to say, you're just unlucky. The baseball gods just don't like you that day. It's 13
They just deserve to win.
13 groundouts.
Like they deserve to win.
True pitch to contact guy, where VSU's offense woke up in the second game, blasting 2 home runs from Charlie Banks and Parker Ladd, but only hit 185 as a team. 6 strikeouts, and they couldn't rally in the top of the 7th to potentially tie or come away with a win. But then game 3, a patient offense and stellar pitching worked out a game 3 win. VSU walked 6 times and waited until the 6th and 9th innings to pounce on the runs with an RBI sacrifice fly and a 2 RBI single respectively. And here's really the thing to note here. Drake LaRoche, 9 innings, complete game, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, no walks. He has shooted no free passes. Except 1 hit by pitch. 1 hit by pitch. That was the only free pass he let up on 105 pitches. LaRoche can really be that guy.
He can.
And I'm going to talk.
He's good.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about another. I'm probably going to talk about another one of his pitching lines later on. But he's that guy. He can definitely be that guy. I mean, he's pretty much always our game 3 starter. So whenever we need that game 3 win, he's come through for us. But I'm going to talk about a little more about another game 3 starter who came through big time. Then we had the single game against Embry-Riddle, 14-17, a loss that went 13 innings. Were either of y'all at that game? Because I was actually here at the Mass Media Building shooting my capstone project. And I remember saying to the guys.
Oh, wait, I definitely was there.
I remember saying to the guys there, like if we're done early enough, I might just go over to baseball. I might just go over to baseball and just watch the rest of the game because I didn't know. By that time, I think we were in like the 6th or 7th inning, and I said game's about to be over anyway, so not gonna bother. Then I find out from Jamie Abbott the next day that it went 13 innings. Damn! So Ansley, you said you were at that game. From what you remember about that game, what was that? What was that like? It just seemed like it just seem like it would never end.
Like, yeah, it was the only way I can put it is it was back and forth, and I could tell both teams were like, "Are you serious?"
It's like, do we have to keep doing this?
Yeah, like I could tell, like even the next person coming up to bat, that like even the guys in the batter box were like this. Barely hanging on by a thread.
Hanging on by a thread.
They were like, we don't care who wins at this point. That's the vibe I got.
Yeah, this was a Tuesday game.
Yeah.
Mind you. So everyone's got to go to class the next day.
Yep.
The next morning.
This is crazy because VSU, they were up 3-0 by the 3rd inning. They got to the 4th. Emory had tied the game up. VSU scored 5 more runs in the 4th, and then Emory.
Told you back and forth, man.
Embry-Riddle just scored for the next 4 consecutive innings: 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 7 in the 7th,
inning.
1 in the 8th. Then VSU puts up 3 in the bottom of the 9th. We're going to extras. 10th, 11th, 12th, zeros on the board, and then finally 3 more runs at the top of the 13th from Embry-Riddle. VSU couldn't respond. And that was that.
A total of 37 hits from
37 bases. Baseball. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
And which, speaking of baseball, we got to look at this series against Delta State on March 13th and 14th. A clean 3-game series sweep. And then eventually the game against St. Leo, which I'll get to in a minute, concluding a 4-game win streak. Games 1 and 2 were straight pitching duels of the matter of just who blinks first, with both these games ending 2-1 in favor of Valdosta State, in which game 1, Garrett Moody, this has got to be his best start yet. Here's his pitching line. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 1 wild pitch, 27 batters faced, 110 pitches. This is the same pitcher who from my previous experience in watching him pitch, usually he ends up struggling through the 5th inning or like his 3rd time through the lineup. That's around that time you look at me and he just slowly starts losing his composure. Well, not really so much losing his composure like he's getting angry, but when the batting order starts figuring him out and they can get more base hits off him, and those base hits start accumulating the further he gets into his start. But in this one, he just kept going.
Yeah.
I remember I was at that game and we were getting to the 5th inning and I saw Moody was coming back out and I said, oh boy, we might be in for it. And he let up a couple base hits, but he kept on it. He stayed with it. He stayed poised. He stayed collected. He kept filling the zone, kept getting strikeouts. Again, 9 strikeouts in this one through 7 innings. Even when we got to the 7th inning, I'm looking at it, he's coming back out. I said, wow, they're really going to let him go all the way. They're potentially going to let him go all the way. And then eventually they pulled Moody for Keaton Fuller to pitch the last 2 innings, getting the win, pitching 2 shutout innings. But what a start from Garrett Moody in that one. It's probably his best start that he's had this season. And then eventually game 2, Jack Butler, a 7-inning complete game, 4 hits, 1 earned run allowed, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, 1 hit by pitch on 102 pitches. So 17 combined strikeouts in games 1 and 2. Just stellar pitching from Valdosta State in those first 2 games. And the game 3, if you're a power hitter, this game was for you. 4 runs scored in the 4th, thanks to a Charlie Banks 3-run home run. Then Brent Howard with his own solo shot. Mind you, these were both on 0-0 counts.
Wow. First pitch.
First pitch to their at bats, they said, all right, see ya. Goodbye. I'm going to, I don't know how many more Smash Bros. Baseball bat sound effects I'm going to put here, but this section is going to be full of them. Delta State would then put up 2 in the 7th inning, but VSU responded with triple that amount of runs. They said, oh, you scored 2? That's cute. How about 6? How about 6 runs, a bases loaded walk, 2 RBI single, and then, of course, a 3-run home run from none other than the toy cannon himself, Matt Keller. He has certainly earned that nickname. He has earned that nickname, the toy cannon. Keller, stellar at second base, but for his small frame, he's got some pop.
He does.
That man has got some pop.
He's a good player. He's crafty.
Sometimes you gotta be being one of the short players.
Right,
we support short kings.
We do.
We support short kings on this podcast. Matt Keller, you are appreciated. 3-run blast in that one. In which, here's another thing I gotta know as well. Delta State used 6 pitchers in that game. Blake King took the loss for 4 earned runs given up in 3 2/3 innings. VSU, we started with LaRoche. This game. Got through 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, allowed 2 runs on 111 pitches.
Wow.
Then we closed with Ty Macera, Preston Weatherall, and Ryan Strachan, 1 inning each, got the dub. And then we go on to the game against St. Leo. First shutout this season. I'm going to say that again. First shutout this season for VSU, 4-0. Mind you, that game was on March 18th. That is nearly halfway through the season for the Blazers' first shutout of the year. We've had a couple games we've only allowed 1 run, which ironically enough was against Montevallo on a loss, but I'll get to that in a second. But most of the heavy lifting was done by Trey Jackson in that game against St. Leo. Here's Jackson's line. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, 5 walks, but 6 strikeouts on 83 pitches. So he gave up a couple free passes, gave up 5
But
walks.
I mean, who wouldn't take that though?
No.
It's a good little run.
He had more base runners on walks than he did hits.
5 walks,
that's-
walks, and still didn't give no runs.
Right. Like that's like you can do that as long as you know.
Yeah. At the very minimum, that's 7 base runners allowed. At the very minimum, 7 base runners allowed. So you had a base runner per inning. Not a single one of them crossed home plate. And then eventually coming in to finish the game again, as I said, Vinny Del Negro, Hayden Sawtile, and Keaton Fuller would shut down the rest of the game. But Jackson certainly did the heavy lifting there. Had a base runner per inning, but not a single one of them crossed home plate. And I believe, if I'm correct, that is actually the first non-conference win for this Blazer baseball team. I didn't exactly. Oh no, it's got to be their second one because they won 15-12 against Palm Beach Atlantic early in the season, and then they beat Florida Tech 5-4 on February. So this is their third. But we've all kind of known that non-conference games have been VSU's kryptonite for some reason for baseball, but they have won 3 non-conference games, so that's always good to hear.
The one loss, against Tampa, going against the number 1 team,
reigning national champion.
Yep.
Who, mind you, the game prior got beat by Savannah State. So Savannah State upset the number 1 team in the nation, and then the number 1 team in the nation, Tampa, came to VSU and said, "All right, we're mad, and we're gonna take it out on you." And it just had to be us. Why were we next on the schedule? Why did we have to be next on the schedule for that? But going on a little further here, VSU currently in a funk right now, dropping back-to-back series, being swept by both Montevallo and Mississippi College, and also losing a single game against GCSU 11-9. Here's just a quick recap of those scores. First game against Montevallo, 9-5 loss. Second game, lost 1-0. Third game, lost 5-0. GCSU 11-9 loss. And then Mississippi College, this is where things got ugly. 13-7 loss in game 1, 14-1 loss in game 2, and 14-1 loss in game 3. And what hurts even more about that second 14-1 loss, or that first 14-1 loss, was that was done in 7 innings. 8-run first inning from Mississippi College to pile on 14 runs in 7 innings. So that was rough. That was incredibly rough. But VSU coming up with a single game against Florida Southern. This episode will be out by then. This episode will be out way past then. Hopefully Blazers come away with a win, manifesting it now. If it isn't, then you can go ahead and tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Go ahead. I don't care. I know my predictions can be wrong. Then we have a 3-game series against Auburn Montgomery to really kickstart April here. In which the Blazers doing a little thing, Easter at the ballpark, having a little Easter egg hunt at Billy Grant Field. Also over at Steele's Diamond, which we're going to get to at the softball section.
Make sure you guys
section.
come. Please. Tell your daughter, son, cousin, everyone. We need everyone there.
We need everyone there. We got some eggs to collect. We got some eggs to collect. I may or may not join in the festivities as well, even though I think I'll be on camera.
Jaylan.
I'll get down from my stand. I'll get down from my stand and go Easter egg hunting. Yay! And then we have another game against Tampa on April 7th, then a 3-game series against Lee University, then 2 back-to-back non-conference games against Georgia Southwestern and Georgia College State University. Then we wrap up the home games with a 3-game series against Christian Brothers on April 17th, then followed up with 4 more games on the road against Embry-Riddle and a 3-game series against West Florida before the GSC tournament. Now, again, as I said at the top of the segment, VSU is currently teetering on a spot in the GSC tournament right now. They are in the 9th spot. They're in the number 9 spot. So right now they're looking at being eliminated. Still quite a bit of baseball to go. But one of the biggest questions I have, because me personally, I'm still trying to figure this out. I don't know how much of maybe say like opening day you watched, but what is the identity of this team? We power pitching, defensively sound, we hit for power, we hit for contact, high scoring offense, but shoddy defense. Slick pitching. I'm still trying to figure out what this Blazer baseball team is.
I think that this is just my 2 cents. A lot of new guys, right? Mm-hmm. Almost a brand new team. We talk a lot about chemistry, and don't get me wrong, I think that that's definitely a big factor of it, along with all of our sports teams that we've had in the fall and the spring. I think that we have not found that Valdosta State, Titletown chemistry on all of our teams.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. We recruit good. We have great team players. We have great teammates, right? We all work together and it shows on the field. But if you don't have that like connection outside of the field, or like if we're on the same team, Jaylan, I know what you're good at, right? And I know what I'm not good at, just like it's vice versa.
Right.
We should be able to see that and work well. But you talk about power hitting and slick pitching. We've got some hitters, right? We've got some hitters. Some Charlie Banks, those guys can hit, go yard. But like we don't win games just with a couple players that can hit a couple home runs.
Inconsistency, really.
Right.
The pitching inconsistent. I think I seen a stat where we're top 3 in the GSC in strikeouts per 9.
Top 3 in the GSC. So our pitching is one of the better rates for strikeouts in the GSC.
Yes.
Okay. So we're getting the strikeouts.
Yeah, we're getting the strikeouts, but it's also like, hey, can I rely on you to perform today? I think that's what some of the coaches are asking their guys. You know what I mean? Yeah,
because even then, looking at the overall stats here, going over to the pitching section, which by the way, it does a thing here where it puts a darker background denoting not meeting the minimum requirement of 1 inning pitch per game for the 2 pitchers that meet that qualification for having at minimum 1 inning pitch per game are, in that case, Our pitcher with the most amount of pitches done, or most amount of innings pitched, Drake LaRoche. He's pitched 52. He's pitched 51 and 2/3 innings. He's currently at a 6.1 ERA.
That's what I'm saying. ERA. Like, our good guys are still not the best.
Yeah, Garrett Moody, and mind you, these are our two rotation guys. These are our 2 rotation guys. Our likely our game 1 and our game 3 starter. They have ERAs over 5 and WHIPs nearly a 2. LaRoche is at 1.7. Moody's at 1.9. Even though LaRoche has won 4 games this season, he's 4-3. He's 4-3 this year, has a complete game under his belt, but 35 earned runs. I mean, he's one of our better pitchers. He's averaging 357 against. Moody has yet to win a game this year, despite his best efforts.
Yeah. So all like that means is we've got rough. There's pitchers that are better. There's pitchers that are better in the GSC.
I seen a stat from like our team ERA. It's close to 8.
Yeah, team ERA, looking at it now, team ERA of 7.59.
That's
While
tough.
our opponents this year have an average ERA of 4.8.
That's reasonable.
That is a nearly 4-run difference on average.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Inconsistency. That's the biggest thing I would identify them as, is they've got great players, right? But if you're not great every day, and your second guy can't be good, you're not going to win games.
Consistency is going to be huge here for this VSU baseball team to hopefully find themselves in the GSC tournament. Again, still have a lot of time to go. Still have some series to play, but they got to find a way to snap. They got to find a way to snap out of this funk. So we're going to go ahead and turn things on over here to softball, another team that's kind of treading water right now, but still continuing to fight for their postseason hopes after one of the hottest starts in the GSC so far. And this is pretty much a whole paragraph in of itself. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as I can. So VSU softball started conference play hot, winning their first 5 straight conference games with a 3-game sweep over Trevecca and winning the doubleheader against number 24 in the nation, Alabama Huntsville. So 5-0. 5-0 heading to game 3 of that series against Alabama Huntsville. Number 1 in the GSC at that point. We lost that game. Lost game 3. In which that started a 5-game losing streak, including a sweep at the hands of West Alabama on the road and losing 1 to Columbus State. Cue then another 5-game winning streak, starting with a win over Columbus State on the back half of that back-to-back, a series sweep of Delta State, in which I just got to say, that was a rough weekend for Delta State. Yeah. Both their teams got swept. Both their baseball and softball teams got swept that weekend when it combined 0-6. And that's a long ride back to Mississippi. If I'm one of those players,
ride.
I'm heated. I'm heated after that. And quiet ride. All 12 hours back to Mississippi. And then eventually softball would pick up a win over Rollins. Follow that up with another 6-game losing streak with a sweep from Montevallo, followed by most recently a lost series to Mississippi College. This softball team is the epitome of we're so back, it's so over. We're so back, it's so over. We're so back, it's so over. Just five-game win streak, 5-game lose streak, 5-game win streak, 6-game lose streak. And then they broke that streak with a win over Mississippi College, which I'm about to get to here. So overall in the month of March, VSU is 6-11 with only 1 conference win against Delta State and had 3 series losses and 2 split doubleheaders. But here's kind of depending on how you want to see this could either be a silver lining or just another punch in the gut. Most of these games have been close. Here's all the scores of those March losses. And I want you to keep count. I want you guys to try to keep count and take a guess as to how many of these losses have been by 1 run. Actually, I'm going to ask that now. Out of these 11 losses, how many of these, and you can't look at the outline. I know you both have it open. Don't cheat. So how many of these losses, these 11 losses, do you guys think have been by one run?
Estimate, I'm going to say
8.
8. And Dionte?
I'm going to say, 7 or 8.
7 or 8. Okay, you both are over. It was actually 6.
6.
So 6 of those losses have been by one run. Here's all the scores. Lost 3-11, 1-5, 3-4, 2-3, 2-6, 3-4, 4-5, 3-4, 3-6, 8-9, 0-10. 6 games by one run. Now go over a couple of key moments from this past month. We had the series against West Alabama, went 0-3 in that series, and which the consistent theme in that one is that VSU would hold off the Tigers for most of the game, but they wouldn't have enough juice to finish the game per se. 3 runs allowed in the bottom of the 6th in game 1, 2 runs allowed in the bottom of the 7th in game 2 for the walk-off, and an RBI single to walk off game 3. Valid, Portanova, and Barfield each saddled with a loss, despite getting increasingly better in run prevention. Valid allowed 5 runs, Portanova allowed 4, Barfield allowed 3. VSU just couldn't match. VSU's offense just couldn't match. They couldn't hold on for that bottom of the 7th, in which VSU earned 10 hits in game 2 and batted .313, mind you. And that was a 3-4 loss. But they batted .095 and 154 in games 1 and 3 in that series. So take that as you will. Correlation, causation, however you want to take that one. Then this 5-game win streak against Columbus State, Delta State, and Rollins. Across these 5 games, the pitching staff, here's going to be the best part. Pitching staff in this streak maintained an ERA of 3 or lower, only allowing 11 total runs in this 5-game stretch. All of them earned, not a single unearned run. In this one, games 1 and 3 against Delta State, offensive showcases. 4 runs in the bottom of the 4th and the 6th in game 1 from VSU, all of which were scored on RBI singles. 3 2 RBI singles in game 1 from Kaylin Cook twice. She did it twice. And then you got another one from Sailor McNerney. And then, okay, here's a little bit of a fun exercise. I'm going to list off every scoring play from game 3 against Delta State. All of it in order. RBI double. RBI on a wild pitch / drop third strike. RBI double. 2-run home run. Solo home run. Solo home run. 2-run home run. Fielder's choice. RBI single. RBI double. 5 doubles, 4 home runs, 3 runs scored in the 2nd, 3rd, and 6 runs in the 4th. Damn! I got nothing. 4 home runs in that game.
5 doubles.
5 doubles. That slugging has got to be through the roof. That slugging percentage is through the roof right now. And one player I want to talk about here specifically, Maddie Van Allen. Not only did she pitch a complete game, going 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts and 69 pitches, but she went yard twice. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have seen Van Allen play much, but she is a unicorn. And she's consistent. Mm-hmm. She's a consistent girl.
Yeah,
she's gonna do something, and she's gonna contribute to that win when they win in some way, and it's gonna be significant.
That's the definition of
her.
A two-way player.
Yeah.
To me. Yeah, you don't see softball players doing that
like that
on a consistent basis.
You don't. Yeah, you don't really see the pitchers going back out there to hit. I mean, the player that was most known for that in most recent history, I can't remember, was Tori Wofford when she came in. And Tori Wofford came in as a freshman. She was pitching and batting. But now we have Maddie Van Allen. She's throwing 4 strikeout games, 2 walk games, allowing only 1 earned run, and then blasting 2 home runs over the fence. Because why not? Because at that point, why not? And which, by the way, 12 runs scored against Delta State in that Game 3 win, most runs in a game scored this season. And now I'm going to talk about Game 2 against Delta State. Kind of went a little bit out of order here, but I want to talk about this pitching duel between Toya Wofford and Maddie Van Allen against Kendall Moore. Van Allen started the game, gave up 1 run and 1 walk, and only had 1 strikeout.
Wow.
She was pulled in the 4th. Then Toya Wofford comes in, pitches the last 3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, and got 10 flyouts with, here's just another fun guessing one. How many strikeouts does she have?
Out of how many pitches?
She pitched 37. She had 37 pitches, pitched 3 innings. How many strikeouts do you think she got?
I'm going to say
6.
I'm going to say between 0 to 1.
That is oddly specific for you to say 0 to 1 because she got 0.
0? I said 6.
Not a single strikeout. Not even looking, not swinging. Not even a drop third strike. No strikeouts for Wofford through 3 innings and got 10 flyouts out of 14 batters faced. The rest of them were groundouts.
Huh.
Softball. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Just put softball, period. That's it. That's all I can say. Just weird pitching lines.
Yep.
The weirdest pitching lines. You only allowed 1 run through 3 innings, but had no strikeouts. No strikeouts. That takes me back to that. That takes me back to that baseball one. Where is it now? Was it? No, it wasn't Jack Butler. It might have been West Alabama. West Alabama. The pitcher Baker Green had 10 flyouts, but only 2 strikeouts. I got nothing. As a guy who understands football and kind of basketball the most, I look at stat lines like that and I go,
I don't have any input.
How?
Where's the science?
Why? How? Why? How did this lead to this? It still blows my mind. It still blows my mind to this day. And then we got game 1 against Rollins. Pitching excellence from Savannah Barfield. She went 7 innings, complete game, 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, 6 strikeouts, which is actually the most this season from a single pitcher for VSU.
Wow. 6? She got 6?
Yep, 6 strikeouts this one. 1 hit by pitch, 93 pitches, and 5 shutout innings from Barfield in that game 1 win over Rollins, in which VSU decided to front load the game this time with runs, putting on 6 runs in the bottom of the first. Charlotte Phillips, RBI single, Prandine with a bases clearing, 3 RBI triple. Jamie Prandine, I'm not going to sell you short there. I realize I did there. My bad. And then Chrisley Arnold, a 2 RBI double. And then in the 6-game losing streak, just a couple key notes. Game 2 against Rollins, they put up 1 run in each of their last 2 innings, a solo home run and RBI single, pushed the game to an 8th inning where 1 more run from a home run via Rachel Matheson, shutting down VSU via a ground out and 2 strikeouts sealed the game. And then against Montevallo, walk-off loss via error in game 1 against UM starter, who's 16-2. Montevallo starter in game 1 went on to 16-2. Name me another pitcher who's won at least 15 games.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Montevallo is steady, gets some key players, like some diamonds that really are in the rough. Like, they've got some good athletes there.
Absolutely. And VSU couldn't muster up the tying run after a 3-run 4th inning from Montevallo, despite 7 base hits and 2 home runs, 1 from Evie Pitts and 1 from Kaylin Cook. Just couldn't muster up that game tying or winning run. And then against Mississippi College, things just did not go well against Mississippi College. They got the tying and walk-off runs in the bottom of the 7th in game 1 in that doubleheader, despite a 4-run 4th inning from VSU. Then the Choctaws front-loaded the runs, scoring 4 in the first and 5 in the second, en route to a 10-0 shutout in 5 innings via the run rule. 4th most runs, tied 3rd most earned runs allowed. So just rolling back to that same question asked about baseball, I mean, softball is a little more obvious as to what their identity is. There's still this power. There's still more or less this power hitting team. They hit good for contact, and they have good pitching. But what do you guys think can guide this team to another GSC tournament appearance? But what can also just as equally hold them back?
I don't think this is a bad team. I really just don't think they know how to close out games, and really until they fix that, I don't think their record is really going to change, to be honest.
Yeah, mind you, because I think at this time they are the 7 seed. They are the 7 seed at this time. Let me quickly check that because I have that tab open. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, they are 9-9 in the GSC. Tied with Alabama Huntsville with 2 games ahead of Trevecca. So they're still in a decent spot, but they will be a lower seed, which obviously you probably don't want to pull in the GSC tournament.
And I mean, as we've talked about, like their past like away trips have really just like sold them, I feel like. And it's tough because it's like, you're like in that midseason slump. Like that's a real thing. And I can relate to that. And it's kind of like, when am I ever going to get a break? But it really, that's what separates from good teams from great teams. Like right now is when you've got to really kick it into the next gear. So I think they still have a little bit of time to do that. So we'll see if they can get that done. But I do want to say the good thing about these girls is, like you said, Dionte, like it's a good team. They've got some core players that are going to perform when they go out there, but like everyone else has to be on the same page.
Yep. Yeah, we need everyone batting order 1 through 9, starting pitcher, relief pitcher.
Same headspace, everything.
They didn't go out there and say, we can take this.
Yeah.
And going back to the West Alabama game, the second game actually, they had 10 hits in that game.
10 hits.
Out hit West Alabama by 5. West Alabama only had 5 hits that game.
Jeez.
But lost 4-3.
Again. I mean, going back to your point, man, you need to be able to close out games, especially when they get close, when they get dangerously close like that. Again, going back to what I said at the top of this, 6 losses by 1 run. Again, they have the juice. They have the juice to start the game, but they just need that last push. That last push, just that last little bit of gas before you get to the gas station. You're just praying your car doesn't stall out and you don't run out of gas before you reach the station and it's 500 feet away. And unfortunately, for several times, the car ran out of gas before you made it to the gas station. Now you got to put it in neutral and push it along and figure the rest of it out. But hopefully, with a couple of these series remaining. Got a series against Auburn Montgomery on April 3rd and 4th, the April 4th game, Easter at the ballpark. Be sure to come out to that, as Ansley said prior. We have a 2-game series against Georgia Southwestern in Valdosta. So we have 5 straight home games coming up, at least at the time of this recording. Then they're heading out to Cleveland, Tennessee to face off against the Lee University Flames. Then the the second to last home series will be against the Christian Brothers Buccaneers on April 18th and the 19th. Then a 3-game series on the road against West Florida and Pensacola. We'll wrap up with a 3-game home series against Union on May 1st and 2nd. What a nice softball series to take us into finals week.
Yep.
As I just said, finals week, I've now given myself dread. So that being said, that's how we're going to wrap things up here for this episode of the Inferno. We apologize for how long it has been since our last episode. I know last episode was put out on February 20th. This is going to come out April 3rd. If I got that date correctly. Yeah, April 3rd. So spring break happened, and now we got about 5-6 more weeks of school left. This is grind time. Yeah, this is grind time for us right now, especially for me.
Yeah, you have a lot going on,
especially for me right now because I have graduation to look forward to. But before I even get there, I still got to stay on top of my schoolwork. So again, for anyone doing in this, if you don't take away anything from this show, then take away this: take care of your schoolwork.
Yeah.
Take care of your schoolwork, do what you're supposed to do to get to where you want to do. And for me, that's taking care of like 4 or 5 simultaneous projects, 4 or 5 simultaneous like summative projects.
And I know Capstone. I know Capstone is seniors.
Don't remind me. I got edit that as well. I got a lot to do. But with that being said, that's just where we're coming from right now. So we'll try to keep things a little more consistent as the spring semester slowly comes to a close. So for Dionte, Daniel, for Austin, who's not here with us, for Ansley, who had to leave us a little bit early, and for Jaylan Scott, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Inferno, a Valdosta State Sports Show. And as always, if you can't take the heat, what makes you think you can survive the Inferno? And then Craig, say something to the people.
Bye, Felicia.